Damian's POV. Tahimik ang paligid nang makarating ako sa penthouse. Tanging mahinang tunog ng wall clock ang bumati sa akin. Di ko na nagawang alisin ang suot kong coat. Mabilis ako naglakad papasok sa loob, hinahanap ang presensya ni Belle. Nang marating ko ang living room, dun ko siya nakita. Mahimbing siyang natutulog sa sofa, suot pa rin ang kanyang work clothes. Nakapatong sa kandungan niya ang laptop, bukas pa rin ang screen. Mukhang napagod siya sa pagtatrabaho at di nagawang lumipat sa kama. Napailing ako. Lagi mo na lang pinapagod ang sarili mo, bulong ko. Lumalambot ang boses ko nang di ko namamalayan. Lumapit ako sa kanya at maingat ay dalis ang laptop mula sa kandungan niya. Inayos ko ang gamit niya sa mesa at siguradong walang babagsak o masisira. Nang ibalik ko ang tingin ko sa kanya, hindi ko mapigilang titigan siya. Maliwanag ang ilaw mula sa lampshade kaya't kitang-kita ko ang maamong mukha ni Belle. Mahinahon ang kanyang paghinga, ang mahaba niyang pilikmata ay bahagyang nanginginig. Ang malambot niyang labi bahagyang nakaawang, parang inaakit akong dampian niya ng halik kahit medyo lasing pa ako. Alam ko hindi ito losyon. Hindi lang dahil sa epekto ng alak kaya ako nabighani sa kanya. Belle is beautiful and she's mine. Kahit na nagsimula lang sa isang kontratang pagsasama namin, hindi ko na maitatanggi na hindi lang basta papel ang nagbibigay sa amin ngayon. Huminga ako ng malalim bago maingat siyang binuhat mula sa sofa. Napakagaan niya sa bisig ko, para bang sadyang ginawa siya para sa akin. Bahagyang gumalaw si Belle, sinubsob ang mukha sa leeg ko. Damian, mahina niyang bulong. Natigilan ako. Gising ba siya? Ngunit nang tingnan ko siya, mahimbing pa rin siyang natutulog. Napangiti ako. Dinala ko siya sa kwarto namin at maingat na iniga sa kama. Umupo ako sa gilid at pinagmasdan siya. Hindi mapigilan ng pagnanasa, ngunit pinigilan ko ang sarili ko. Hindi ito ang tamang oras. Hinaplos ko ang noon niya. Inayos ang ilang hibla ng buhok na bumagsak sa kanyang pisngi. Hindi mo man lang inantay ang asawa mo? Mahina akong bulong. Tumayo ako at kumuha ng isang malambot na pajama set sa closet niya. Ayoko siyang mahimbing na matulog nang di komportable sa suot niya. Pagbalik ko sa kama, dahan-dahan kong sinimulan tanggalin ang kanyang blazer. Pero bago ko pa man tuluyang mahubad iyon, naramdaman kong gumalaw si Belle. Maya-maya lang dumilat ang kanyang malalaking mata at nagtagpo ang tingin namin. Nagpapanik siya saglit. Anong ginagawa mo? Mahina ngunit alerto ang boses niya. Pinapalta ng damit mo. Gusto mong matulog nang suot mo pa to? Napatingin siya sa sarili niya at nabansin niya. Suot pa rin niya ang office attire niya. Napanguso siya bago bumuntong hininga. Hindi mo na kailangan gawin to, Damian. Kaya ko namang magbihis ng mag-isa, sabi niya, pilit bumabangon. Ngunit bago pa siya makagalaw, agad ko siyang pinigilan. Shh! Stay still! Naningkit ang mga mata niya. Ikaw na naman yan, Damian, I swear. Minsan para kang mas controlling pa sa tatay ko. Napangiti ako. So tinuturing mo akong tatay mo, ha? Hindi siya sumagot. Tinanggal ko ang blouse niya. Hinayaan siyang kumilos ng bahagya, pero ako na mismong nag-ayos ang kanyang pajama top. Hindi siya kumontra pero halata akong nagpipigil siyang magreklamo. Habang inaabot ko ang pajama bottoms, bigla niyang hinawakan ang kamay ko. Damian, tawag niya, seryoso ang tono. Tumingin ako sa kanya. Nasa pagitan ng pagtanggi at pagpayag ang ekspresyon niya pero mas nangingibabaw ang tiwala sa mga mata niya. Salamat, bulong niya. Napahinto ako. Di ko alam kung epekto pa rin to ng alak o kung dahil lang sa paraan ng pagtingin niya sa akin, pero may kung anong bumalot sa puso ko. Napangiti ako. Dahan-dahang hinaplos ang pisngi niya. Hindi mo na kailangan magpasalamat, bulong ko pabalik. Dahan-dahan siyang ngumiti. Ang uri ng ngiting bumubura sa lahat ng pagod ko sa buong araw. Natapos kong bihisan siya at nang masiguradong komportable na siya, marahan kong hinila ang kumot at tinakpan siya ng maayos. Matagal pa akong nanatili sa tabi niya, pinagmamasdan ang bawat galaw niya. Kantahan mo ko, saad ni Belle, nakapikit ang mga mata niya. Di ako marunong kumanta, sintonadong asawa mo. Basta, kantahan mo ko, pamimilit niya. Kahit ano. Tumikim ako at umupo sa tabi niya. Sure ka? Baka hindi ka na makatulog, pagbibiro ko. Hindi ako makatulog. Nakita ko kasi ang mama ko sa panaginip ko. Mahinang sabi niya at dahan-dahang dinilat ang kanyang mga mata. Hanggang ngayon, di ko pa rin matanggap ang pagkawala niya. Ginasa siya ng kanyang boss noon at pinatay dahil nagbunga ang pambababoy ng kanyang amo. Napatitig ako kay Belle. Pakiramdam ko, bigla na lang akong nahimasmasan. Tumabi ako sa kanya at niyakap siya na mahigpit. Sige, kakanta ako. Basta wag mo akong pagtatawanan. Humigpit ang pagyakap ni Belle sa akin. Napahugot ako ng malalim na hininga bago sinumulang kantahin ng paborito kong musika. Nang tingnan ko si Belle, nakatakip na ang dalawang kamay niya sa kanyang tenga habang tumatawa. Nahawa ko sa pagtawa niya kaya di ko mapigilan ang sariling matawa. Ano ba yan? Ang tanda-tanda mo na talaga. Kasi hindi ko magets kung anong klaseng kanta yan at kung kailan inilabas ang musikang yan. Pang-aasar pa niya. Damian's POV. Nagising ako na malamig ang pakiramdam sa tabi ko. Wala si Belle. Agad akong bumaba ng kamay ko sa kama. Hinahanap ang init ng katawan niya. Ngunit ang natagpuan ko lamang ay ang malamig na espasyo kung saan siya dapat nakahiga. Napakunot ang noo ko. Anong oras na ba? Dumiretso ako sa bedside table. Kinuha ang phone ko. 8:00 na ng umaga. Nag-inat ako at tumayo mula sa kama. Di ko nagustuhan ng pakiramdam na gumising nang wala siya sa tabi ko. Hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit pero parang hindi buong umaga ko nang di siyang unang taong nakikita ko. Napailing ako sa sarili ko. Damn it, Damian. You're getting too attached. Sinuot ko ang isang plain black shirt at lumabas ng kwarto. Habang bumababa ako ng hagdanan, biglang bumungad sa akin na isang malakas sa sigaw. Ay, huwag mo akong niloloko, Belle. Alam kong ikaw lang nakakaintindi sa anak kong yon. Nanlaki ang mga mata ko. Si Mom? Napabilis ang hakbang ko pababa. Nag-aalala na baka pinapagalitan niya si Belle. Alam kong minsan masyado siyang straightforward at mataray, pero hindi ko hayaang saktan niya si Belle kahit pa ina ko siya. Pero nang makarating ako sa baba, hindi ko inaasahan na eksenang bumungad sa akin, ang ina ko, si Darlene Villarreal, ang matapang at palaban kong ina na bihirang umiti sa ibang tao. Ay kasalukuyang tumatawa habang mahigpit na hawak sa kamay si Belle. At si Belle naman halatang natutuwa rin habang kausap siya. Nag-uusap sila. No, nagkukulitan silang dalawa. Naningkit ang mga mata ko. Anong meron dito? Tanong ko. Pinagsalikop ang mga braso ko sa dibdib. Napatingin agad si Belle sa akin at napansin ko ang bahagyang pamumula ng pisngi niya. Oh, good morning, Mr. Clingy. Biro niya. I raised an eyebrow. Mr. Clingy? Yes, sabat ni Mom bago pa ako makasagot. Napakurap ako. What? Napatawa si Belle at hindi ko alam kung bakit, pero sa halip na mairita na alaw ako sa tunog ng tawa niya. Huminga na malalim si Mom bago tumayo mula sa upuan niya. Lumapit siya sa akin. Sinuri ako mula ulo hanggang paa bago umiling. I never thought I'd see the day na magiging ganito ka sa isang babae, Damian. Napakunot ang noo ko. Ano namang ibig mong sabihin, Mom? Ngumiti siya pero may alam akong nakiting iyon. Mapang-asar. Ibig kong sabihin, ang dami-dami mong naging girlfriends noon, pero ni isa sa kanila hindi ko nakitang naging ganito ka kaprotektibo. Lumingon siya kay Belle. But Belle is different, isn't she? Hindi ko alam paano sasagutin yon. Belle is different, that's for sure. Pero ibang marinig yon mula sa ibang tao, lalo na sa ina ko. Belle is the only woman who can make me feel things I never thought I would. Hindi ako nakasagot. Napansin ko naman na makahulugang tingin ni Belle na para bang hinihintay ang magiging reaksyon ko. Bumuntong hininga ako at nagpatuloy sa paglalakad papunta sa lamesa. Nag-almusal na ba kayo? Tanong ko. Pilit binabagong usapan. Hindi pa, sagot ni Belle. Napangiti ako. Talaga? Ngumiti siya pabalik. Oo naman, ikaw ang boss ko. Baka pagalitan mo ko kapag nauna ako sa pagkain. Napailing ako. I should start making rules about that. Maya-maya pa tumawa si Mom at umiling. Kayo na talaga. Parang di ko na kailangan pang tanungin kung mahal ninyong isa't isa. Nagkatinginan kami ni Belle. Hindi ko alam kung sinong unang umiwas ng tingin. Napansin ko ang bahagyang pamumula ng pisngi niya bago siya tumayo at tumiretso sa kusina. Kukuha lang ako ng juice, aniya. Mabilis ang kilos. Napangiti si Mom habang pinagmamasan siyang umalis. She's perfect for you, Damian. Bulong niya. Tumango ako, hindi ko man lang magawang kumontra. Dahil totoo, alam ko, tama siya. Si Belle ang babaeng perpekto para sa akin. Habang nakaupo sa dining table, hindi ko maiwasang sundan ng tingin si Belle habang abala siya sa pagbubukas ng ref para kumuha ng juice. My wife. I will never get used to calling her that. Wala siyang kaalam-alam kung gaano siya kaakit-akit kahit sa simpleng white dress na suot niya. The way her hair cascades down her back, the way her lips slightly pout while she's focused. She is effortlessly beautiful, and she's mine. Napangiti ako nang hindi sinasadya. Damian, stop looking at your wife like you're about to devour her. Naputo lang iniisip ko na magsalita si Mom, her tone filled with amusement. Napansin kong mapaluksong ngiti niya habang nakatingin sa akin. Belle, on the other hand, froze. Napatigil siya sa pagbuhos ng juice at dahan-dahang lumingon sa amin. Mom! She gasped, her cheeks turning a bright shade of red. What? Nakangisi lang si Mom. I'm just saying the truth, dear. Belle quickly turned back, shaking her head before drinking her juice, obviously trying to compose herself. Hindi ko mapigilan ang pagngiti. This woman is adorable. Makalipas sa ilang segundo, bumalik siya sa upuan sa tabi ko. Di siya makatingin diretso sa akin at kita sa mukha niya na naiilang siya sa sinabi ni Mom. Gusto ko siyang asarin. Bumaba ako ng bahagya sa upuan ko at bumulong malapit sa tenga niya. You know she's right, Belle. I really can't take my eyes off you. Nakita ko kung paano siya napakurap at sa isang iglap, iniwasan niya ako at uminom ulit ng juice. Halatang tinatago ang pamumula ng pisngi niya. Cute. Napangisi ako. Pero bago ko pa siya maituloy asarin, tumikim si Mom. Anyway, I came here for a reason, she said. May announcement ako. Napatingin kami ni Belle sa kanya. What is it, Mom? Tanong ko. Tumingin siya sa akin saka ngumiti. I'm throwing a family gathering this weekend. Napakunot ang noo ko. A family gathering? Yes, para sa inyong dalawa. Belle blinked. Para sa amin? Of course, sagot ni Mom, crossing her arms. Biglang lumakas ang tibok ng puso ko. I know our marriage started as a contract, but things changed. I changed. I fell for her. And now Mom is making it clear our relationship needs to be real in the eyes of everyone. Tumingin ako kay Belle at nakita ko ang bahagyang nerbiyos sa mata niya. She bit her lower lip, obviously thinking about what to say. Di ko siya hinayaan mag-isip ng matagal. I reached for her hand under the table and gave it a light squeeze. We'll be there, Mom, I said. My voice was firm. Belle looked at me, her eyes filled with questions, but she did not pull her hand away. Good. Mom's eyes softened. I knew you'd say that. I have a meeting in an hour. Aalis na ako. Enjoy your breakfast, lovebirds. And just like that, she left. Tahimik lang kaming dalawa ni Belle habang nakatitig sa pinto kung saan lumabas si Mom. Pagkatapos na ilang segundo napatingin siya sa akin, her brows furrowed. Damian? She started, her voice hesitant. This gathering. I tightened my grip on her hand. We have to do this, Belle. But I cupped her cheek and made her look at me. You trust me, don't you? She blinked. I could see the hesitation in her eyes pero sa huli tumango siya. Yes. That was all I needed. I smiled and leaned forward, pressing a soft kiss on her forehead. Then trust me on this too. She sighed but didn't say anything else. At that moment, I made a silent vow. No matter what happens, I will make sure that after this gathering, there will be no more doubts. I will prove to Belle that this marriage is no longer just a contract. I will make her mine, completely. Belle's POV. Nakaupo ako sa harap ng isang full-length mirror habang si Damian abala sa paghalongkat ng designer dresses na pinadala ng isang high-end boutique. Mula kanina, hindi siya tumigil sa pagsalansan iba't ibang damit na gusto niyang ipasuot sa akin para sa upcoming family gathering. Try this one, he said, handing me a sleek champagne-colored gown. I think this will look good on you. Napatingin ako sa kanya, napairap ng bahagya. Damian, I've tried 10 dresses already. He smirked, obviously enjoying my misery. And we're just getting started, sweetheart. Napabuntong hininga na lang ako. I knew this was important for him, so kahit pagod ako sa paulit-ulit na pagsusukat, I let him do his thing. He was surprisingly good at choosing outfits. Alam ko may taste talaga siya pagdating sa fashion, pero hindi ko in-expect na ganito siya ka-particular sa bawat detalye. Lahat ng gowns na pinapasuot niya sa akin, elegante, pero may halong sensuality, something that screams Mrs. Villarreal. Matapos ng ilang minuto, lumabas ako ng dressing room suot ng champagne gown na pinili niya. It was a body-hugging silk dress with a thigh-high slit, hugging my curves perfectly. The deep neckline wasn't too revealing, but it was enough to make me feel sexy yet sophisticated. I faced the mirror and for a second I did not recognize myself. Wow, I whispered, turning slightly to check the back of the dress. This is stunning. Then I felt Damian's presence behind me. His hands rested on my shoulders before trailing down my arms, his fingers grazing my bare skin. His touch sent shivers down my spine. I looked at our reflection in the mirror. His eyes were dark and intense as they roamed over my body, like he was trying to memorize every curve, every inch of me. You look perfect, he murmured, his voice husky. Naparanok ako. The way he was looking at me made my knees weak. I think this is the one. I managed to say, trying to focus on anything but the heat spreading through my body. He smirked. Of course it is. I chose it. Napailing na lang ako at napatawa ng bahagya. Ang yabang mo talaga. He chuckled before wrapping his arms around my waist, pulling me closer to him. I just know what looks good on my wife. I blushed at his words. Even after everything, kahit ilang beses niyang pinakita kung gaano niya ako kamahal, di ko pa rin mapigilan ng mabilis sa pagtibok ng puso ko tuwing sinasabi niyang asawa niya ako. You know, Belle? He whispered, his lips grazing my ear. I can't wait to show you off at the gathering. Damian? I want them to see that you're mine, he continued, tightening his hold on me. That no one can take you away from me. Napapikit ako sandali at huminga ng malalim. Alam ko, protective at possessive siya, but hearing him say it with so much conviction, God, it made me weak. Slowly, I turned to face him, placing my hands on his chest. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, I said softly. I'm already yours, Damian. He stared at me for a long moment before cupping my face and pressing a lingering kiss on my forehead. I know, he whispered against my skin. We stayed like that for a while, just holding each other, savoring the warmth between us. And in that moment, I knew, no matter what happens at that family gathering, as long as we have each other, we'll be okay. We always will be. Pagkarating namin sa Villarreal Mansion, agad kong naramdaman ang tensyon sa paligid. The house was grand, even more extravagant than I remembered. The massive chandeliers illuminated the vast living room, while the soft classical music playing in the background added an air of sophistication. I barely had time to breathe before Damian's mother, Mrs. Darlene Villarreal, gracefully approached us with a radiant smile. Belle, my dear, she greeted, holding both of my hands as if she had been waiting for my arrival the entire evening. You look absolutely stunning. Damian made a good choice with that dress. I glanced at Damian, who smirked smugly beside me. I told you, he whispered in my ear before wrapping a protective arm around my waist. Thank you, Mrs. Villarreal. I responded politely, feeling the weight of every curious gaze on me. You should start calling me Mom, she corrected with a soft chuckle. After all, you're my daughter-in-law. Napangiti ako kahit pakiramdam ko maraming matang nanonood sa bawat kilos ko. Di ako sanay sa gantong klaseng pagtanggap, pero di ko rin maitangging natutuwa ako sa warm welcome ng ina ni Damian. Oh, come now, let me introduce you to the others, she said excitedly before turning to the sea of guests behind her. Agad kong sinakop na iba't ibang mukha. May ilan sa kanilang pamilyar na, pero karamihan ngayon ko lang makikilala. Some of Damian's relatives, business associates, and old family friends. They all looked polished and intimidating, like they belonged in the upper echelon of society. So this is the wife everyone's been talking about, an older gentleman said, raising his glass in acknowledgement. I must say, you're even lovelier in person, Mrs. Villarreal. Thank you, Mr. Call me Arthur, he interrupted, smiling. Any woman who managed to tame this one deserves to be called by first names. Nagkatawanan ang mga bisita habang si Damian nagkibit-balikat. She didn't tame me, Arthur. She fell for my irresistible charm. I rolled my eyes. Sure, keep telling that to yourself. Another set of laughter erupted, and just like that, the ice was broken. Mas naging relax ako habang sunod-sunod akong pinakilala sa iba't ibang bisita. Di ko pinansin na bahagyang humigpit ang hawak ni Damian sa bewang ko hanggang sa isang babaeng lumapit sa amin. She was breathtakingly beautiful. Long, sleek black hair, piercing brown eyes, and a form-fitting red dress that screamed elegance. Damian, she purred, her voice laced with familiarity. It's been a while. Agad akong napatingin kay Damian, whose jaw slightly clenched. I could feel the shift in his posture, stiff and guarded. Violetta, he acknowledged, his voice void of warmth. Ah, so this was Violetta. I've heard of her. She was Damian's former flame, the woman who almost became part of his life permanently. I did not expect her to be here tonight, much less be this stunning in person. Her gaze flickered to me, sizing me up with an unreadable expression. Then she extended a perfectly manicured hand. You must be Belle. I took her hand and shook it firmly. And you must be Violetta. She smiled, but it did not quite reach her eyes. I've heard a lot about you. All good things, I hope. She let out a light chuckle. Of course. The conversation was civil, but the underlying tension was there. Damian's hold on me never wavered, and I could feel the silent reassurance he was trying to give. Just as I was about to say something, one of the servers approached us. Dinner is ready, Mr. Villarreal, the server announced. Perfect, Damian said, his tone firm. Well, let's go. He didn't wait for my response. Instead, he guided me towards the dining hall, his hand never leaving my waist. And as I glanced back, I caught Violetta watching us, her eyes filled with something unreadable. Tonight was going to be interesting. Belle's POV. The night had been going smoothly, or so I thought. Habang abala ko sa pagmamasid sa engrandeng pagtitipon, di ko maiwasang mapangiti na makita si Damian kausap ang ilang bisita. His demeanor confident, yes, effortless. His mother, Darlene Villarreal, stood proudly beside him, bending with approval. For a moment, I let myself breathe, sipping on my wine as I tried to blend into the background. Ngunit ang katahimikan ko hindi nagtagal nang lumapit sa akin si Violetta. The woman who exuded elegance yet carried an air of superiority that was impossible to ignore. I felt her gaze rake over me, mula ulo hanggang paa, her perfectly arched brows slightly raised as if she couldn't believe what she was seeing. Here we go, I thought, keeping my face neutral. Ex-fiancé mo si Adrian Villarreal, right? She asked, her tone dripping with mockery. Hindi ako agad sumagot. I simply lifted my glass and took a slow sip of wine, my eyes flickering towards Damian, who was still engaged in a conversation. Violetta's lips curled in irritation. Are you deaf? She snapped, taking a step closer. My grip on my glass tightened, but I refused to give her the reaction she was clearly aiming for. Alam ko marami sa kanilang nagtataka kung paano ko napunta kay Damian matapos na nangyari sa amin ni Adrian, but I owed no one an explanation. Napangisi si Violetta. Oh, so you think staying silent makes you look powerful? Newsflash, Belle. Walang nakakalimot sa past mo. You jumped from one Villarreal to another. The audacity to marry the uncle of your ex. I felt the heat rise in my chest. The sheer disrespect in her voice made my blood boil, but I knew better than to cause a scene. Hindi pa siya tapos. She leaned in slightly, her voice lowering just enough to make sure I was the only one who could hear. You must be a good actress, Belle, she sneered. Convincing Damian to marry you after everyone toss you aside, that takes skills. What's your endgame? Money? Power? Because darling, love? That's out of the question. Mabilis akong napamura sa isip ko. Sino bang babaeng to ba't sobrang dami ng sinasabi? Bago pa ako makapagsalita, she scoffed. You don't belong here, and you never will. Then, before I could react, she shoved me. I gasped as my balance tipped over, and within seconds, I was plummeting into the cold, unforgiving water of the pool. Shit! Panic shot through me as the water swallowed me whole. My body instantly stiffened, my limbs refusing to cooperate. The moment my head deep beneath the surface, memories I had buried for years came rushing back. The suffocating weight, the helplessness, the fear. No, not here, not now. I tried to move, to kick, but the terror immobilized me. I could feel my lungs burning, screaming for air, but I couldn't. I couldn't swim. Just when I thought I was slipping into the darkness, a strong grip pulled me up. Belle! Through my blurred vision, I saw Damian's face, panic, stricken, furious, his wet hair plastered against his forehead. I coughed violently, gasping for air, as he held me tightly against him. Jesus Christ! He cursed. His voice was raw with anger. Are you okay? I couldn't even respond properly. My body was trembling, my mind still trapped in the fear that had gripped me underwater. Damian didn't wait for an answer. He scooped me up into his arms and carried me out of the pool. By now all the guests had gathered, their shocked whispers filling the air. What the hell happened? his mother demanded. My teeth shattered as I buried my face into Damian's soaked chest. I heard someone murmur Violeta's name and then, "You pushed her?" Damian's voice was dangerously low, but the rage in it was undeniable. She slipped. Violeta's voice was high-pitched, defensive. "Liar!" someone muttered from the crowd. "I saw her push Belle," another guest confirmed. Damian's muscles tensed. His grip on me tightened. "You, get the hell out." "Damian, now!" Violeta gasped in indignation. But she had no choice but to flee under the scrutiny of everyone. Damian carried me inside the house, completely ignoring everyone else. I could still feel my heart racing, my breath uneven, but being in his arms made the panic slowly subside. "Shh, Belle, I've got you," he murmured against my hair, voice filled with concern. "I swear, she will pay for this." And for the first time since falling into that pool, I knew I was safe. Malamig ang hanging bumalot sa akin nang buhatin ako ni Damian papasok sa loob ng bahay. Basa pa rin kami pareho mula sa pagkakahulog ko sa pool. At kahit nanginginig pa ako sa ginawa at sa epekto ng trauma, dama ko ang init ng katawan ni Damian habang mahigpit niya akong niyakap. Tahimik lang siya, but I could feel the tension radiating from him. His grip firm yet gentle, as if afraid I would disappear the moment he let go. His jaw was clenched and his usually calm eyes were dark with restrained fury. Pagpasok namin sa isang kwarto, marahan niya akong binaba sa kama at mabilis kinuhang isang towel sa drawer. Lumuhod siya sa harap ko at walang sinayang na oras sa pagpupunas ng tubig sa aking mga braso. "Damian," I whispered. My voice was shaky. "Shh." He hushed me softly pero kita sa mata niya ang galit. "Don't talk, Belle. You need to rest." Pero hindi ko na kayang manahimik. "Damian, I almost drowned." My breath hitched, recalling the terrifying moment underwater. Violeta, she pushed me." At that moment, Damian's hand stilled. His entire body tense, and I saw his knuckles turn white as he gripped the towel too tightly. "I know," he said through gritted teeth. "If I hadn't seen you." His voice cracked for a second before he let out a sharp exhale. "Belle, do you have any idea how scared I was?" Napayuko ako, ramdam ang matinding takot. I couldn't swim. I panicked. I couldn't even move. His jaw clenched even tighter. "That bitch is going to pay for this." Umiling ako. "I don't want to talk about her. Not now." Hinayaan ko lang si Damian na ipagpatuloy ang pagpupunas ng tubig sa akin. He moved with such careful tenderness that it made my heart ache. Hindi ko alam kung dahil sa trauma o sa ginagawa niya pero tila mas mabilis ang tibok ng puso ko sa bawat haplos niya. "Let's get out this wet clothes." His voice was low, gentle yet commanding. Bago ko makasagot, tumayo siya at naglakad papunta sa closet. Maya-maya pa inabot niya sa akin isang oversized shirt at shorts. "Here, wear this." Nag-atabili ako saglit. "You, I will turn around," he assured me bago bumuntong hininga at lumayo ng kaunti. Tumalikod siya pero ramdam ko pa rin ang presence niya sa loob ng kwarto. Mabilis ako nagpalit ng damit at pakiramdam ko mas umaliwalas ang pakiramdam matapos matuyo at mapalitan ang basa kong kasuotan. "Done," I muttered. Agad siyang humarap sa akin at mabilis na lumapit. He gently held my hands, his thumbs grazing my knuckles. "Belle?" His voice was thick with emotion. "You don't have to be scared anymore. I won't let anything like that happen again." Napatingin ako sa kanya. Damian rarely showed this level of vulnerability, but tonight he wasn't just a powerful, ruthless man. He was my husband who had almost lost me. "Thank you for saving me," I whispered. He exhaled sharply, shaking his head. "Don't thank me. I should have protected you better." Bago ako makapagsalita, Damian leaned forward, his forehead resting against mine. His scent, fresh yet intoxicating, wrapped around me, grounding me in the present. "You are mine, Belle," he murmured, his voice a mix of desperation and possession. "And I will never, never let anyone hurt you again." I let out a shaky breath, my fingers curling against his shirt. "I am not going anywhere, Damian."